Amber, you ready? Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon. We're here at the scene of what appears to be an aggravated kidnapping, domestic violence situation. As you may recall, back in February, we were actually out at this location as part of a human smuggling drug operation several months ago. We ended up making several arrests, got several $1,000s of seized assets. Probably the same group of people, but this morning, what brought us here this morning is a 45-year-old woman escaped from this house, went nearby to a nearby residence and called for law enforcement. One of our deputies arrived and she told him the story about how she is actually a migrant farm worker. We believe that she's an undocumented immigrant that's been here for some time, but she's been doing some work at a location in Pearsall, Texas, and had been involved in a relationship with the suspect in this case, suspect by the name of Jason Steele. I believe he's 46 years of age. It appears that she had broken up with Steele several months back and was working at this other property in Pearsall, Texas, when a couple days ago Steele went there and took her from there against her will, forced her into an 18-wheeler, and drove for a day or two. They ended up in, I believe, Tempe, Arizona, where he got her out of the 18-wheeler, dumped her property on the side of the road, and by appearances was going to dump her in Tempe, Arizona. He was going to abandon her there out in the middle of nowhere in Tempe. She forced her way back into the truck and insisted that he bring her back here, which he did, surprisingly enough, but brought her back here, and for the last couple of days she's been held against her will in a bedroom, locked in the bedroom, beaten. An attempt to sexually assault her was actually done. She was threatened with a weapon. At one point, she did succeed in trying to free herself. She was involved in a struggle with the suspect where he was cut. I believe she sustained injuries as well, but she was unsuccessful in getting away. Last night, or early this morning, she did have some success in getting away. My understanding is that they were using drugs pretty heavily inside the home. The suspect and a couple of other suspects in the case were using narcotics in the home. Apparently, he let his guard down to the point where she was able to escape and get some help. So at this point, what we know about Jason Steele is that he already had a warrant, I believe, for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and now he's facing charges of aggravated kidnapping and domestic violence second time, I guess with the same victim. And so right now we're conducting a search warrant in the residence. We do have some indications of narcotics use, possibly narcotics trafficking. And again, they may be up to some human smuggling here as well. So we're going to be here for the better part of the afternoon, searching the residence and executing that warrant. Esta mañana nosotros recibimos una llamada por una mujer de 45 años de edad que ella logró escaparse de esta casa. Ella estaba involucrada románticamente con el sospechoso, un hombre que se llama Jason Steele. Él tiene 46 años de edad. La mujer es indocumentada, estaba trabajando en los labores en Pearsall, Texas. Ella hace unos cuantos meses que ya cortó las relaciones con el sospechoso, pero hace unos cuantos días él fue para Pearsall, Texas, la secuestró, la llevó a fuerza en su trailer, en su troca. Él la llevó para Arizona, me parece que Tempe, Arizona, y él intentó de abandonarla allá en Arizona, pero ella tuvo éxito en subirse para atrás para el camión y ella le insistió a él que la trajera para atrás para acá. La trajo para acá, pero la tuvo secuestrada por varios días en la casa a fuerza. La asaltó, intentó de asaltarla sexualmente, pero él afortunadamente no tuvo éxito en eso, sino que él y varias personas que estaban dentro de la casa que le ayudaron con secuestrarla por varios días. El sospechoso y pues los sospechosos anoche ellos empezaron a usar drogas. Ellos se descuidaron tanto que ella tuvo éxito afortunadamente en escaparse y buscar auxilio. Ya nosotros llegamos con el equipo de SWAT, ejecutamos una orden de arresto y arrestamos a Steele y otros tres sospechosos que estaban dentro de la casa. Ahora Steele se enfrenta con cargos de secuestro con agravantes y también violencia doméstica por el asalto contra la mujer. Pero ahora estamos ejecutando la orden de reviso para revisar la casa. Ahorita estamos revisando la casa, vemos señales de posiblemente drogas y pues otra vez contrabando de seres humanos. El público se recuerda que en febrero estuvimos aquí otra vez y esa vez rescatamos varias víctimas de contrabando de seres humanos y nos llevamos miles de dólares que ellos ganaron en esa actividad de contrabando. Entonces esta tarde nosotros tenemos evidencia que están haciendo lo mismo, aunque no encontramos víctimas de contrabando, sí hay evidencia aquí que estaban haciendo lo mismo. Any questions?
Was there any resistance when y'all came? I mean, he has drugs, guns, stuff like that. Could you talk about that?
So yes, initially the SWAT team made the initial approach. We were able to get a key fob to the gate, and we made entry through the unlocked gate. Initially, they called for the suspect to come out. He did come out, and then it appeared we had SAPD Eagle helping us out. Thanks to them, by the way. They really helped us out with this. They called out that there was a suspect trying to leave the back of the residence on foot, but he retreated back into the residence, and then we started getting reports from the officers on perimeter that they were barricading the door. And so we started treating it as a barricaded suspect at that point. Although we had Steele in custody, we didn't know what the other ones were up to. We felt that there was some narcotics activity going on. And so we ordered them out. We spent about 10 minutes trying to get them out. The SWAT team did introduce tear gas into the residence. They still didn't come out. So the SWAT team breached that front door, and then pretty soon thereafter the suspects gave themselves up. It was a smart thing to do because we were prepared to go in after them.
So how many people were inside the home? Are they also being charged with anything?
So a total of 4 people, Steele and then 3 others were inside the home. At this point, we do have some indications that at the very least, these other 3 people knew that this lady was being held against her will. They were checking on her throughout the time. She wasn't fed for several days, and so we've certainly got evidence that they knew what was going on and didn't report it, so they're probably going to face charges along with that. But the more we start to find out if they were more involved than what we know at this point, they may face charges as well along with the aggravated kidnapping.
Tengo entendido que el dueño del lugar estaba aquí hace un momento. ¿Él está involucrado en algo?
Bueno, ahorita nosotros pensamos que el dueño, aunque no pensamos que él vive aquí, cuando menos él tiene que saber lo que están haciendo. Estuvimos aquí en febrero, él era el dueño en esos días. Ahora que regresamos para atrás, él estaba aquí, él sabe bien lo que está pasando aquí en esta propiedad. Y pues para mí, mi intento es legalmente quitarle esta propiedad para que ya no la use por las actividades ilegales que está haciendo.
Is she okay? Like, what's her condition?
She's okay. Thankfully, she obviously is terrified. She's hungry. She hadn't eaten in a couple of days. She was beaten over the course of that couple of days, so she's certainly terrorized. But she's safe and sound now. At this point, we help her get her life back together and help her try to recover from what certainly was a traumatic experience.
¿Puedes decir eso?
Sí, no, la víctima afortunadamente está bien. Obviamente tenía mucho hambre, ella ya tiene varios días de estar secuestrada sin darle de comer. La golpearon, pero está bien. Ahora nosotros nos concentramos en cuidarla a ella, darle servicios sociales y tratar de ayudarle a recuperarse de esta trauma.
¿Va a tener alguna orden de deportación?
No, ahorita no, aunque es indocumentada, las leyes aquí afortunadamente nos dejan ayudarle a ella a quedarse en el país legalmente, mientras que arreglamos el caso y ojalá ella se pueda quedar legalmente después de eso también. Okay, thank you all so much, I appreciate it.